What's up, everyone? My name is Wyatt. I'm one of the co-founders here at Scale Your Clinic. Over the past 3 years, we have helped countless, well over 300 businesses and practices just like yours scale with very simple systems, not confusing stuff that can be implemented in just a few minutes. And in the next 10-ish minutes, I'm going to be sharing the number one way to get clients in 2026 for your stem cell clinic. So that said, let's jump in. So what are the three things that all stem cell clinics, regardless of size or location, need to make money? Number one is they need to generate a lead or a potential prospect, somebody who is potentially interested in buying your service from you and taking on treatment. Now, after you get that lead, you need to set them into a sales appointment. Once they're set into that sales appointment, then you need to close that sales appointment. It doesn't matter where you are, like I said, what size you are. If you can't do these three things, your clinic is not going to make lots of money. So my goal in this video is I've outlined everything you guys need to know on how to do this not only efficiently, but make the most money doing it at the same time. So when it comes to generating leads, we're going to do this through meta advertising. Meta means Facebook and Instagram. So those are the two platforms we'll be advertising on. We're not going to do YouTube. We're not going to do Google. After working with over 300 businesses, we have lots of data on what works and what doesn't. And I'm not going to waste y'all's time and explain all that data. But long story short, we've just found that Facebook and Instagram are the best way to get clients for the cheapest price that are dream clients who actually want to use your service. Now, once you run these ads and you decide where you're going to run them, the ads that we're actually going to run are user-generated content. And the reasons why, there's three reasons. It builds more trust, number one. It better educates the lead, which is super important because we have a lot of stem cell clinics come to us and their education process is just not the best. And these people come to these appointments before they've even been sold and they have to think about it. They ask a million questions. That is not good for your practice. And that's one thing that UGC ads are particularly good at resolving, is because it's a longer form video, 1 to 2 minutes, made by a real human, or we'll touch on that in a second, sometimes not a real human, AI instead. It just builds more trust and it gives you more opportunity to explain exactly how the treatment works. And overall, like I said, it just yields better results. The clinics that do this make more money than the ones that don't. And the issue with UGC is typically you're going to have somebody like this girl, not to pick on her or anything, but she expects you to pay $250 for a 60-second video. And you can only use the rights for 3 months. Like, what the heck? That's crazy, Like, these prices are unsustainable. Nobody can afford them. And this isn't an outlier. This isn't like a hand-picked expensive one. These UGC creators are kind of out of their mind when it comes to how much they want to charge you. And the other route is, oh, well, I just have to film myself. But if you're not good at filming, if you're not good in front of the camera, you're going to struggle here. Your efforts are going to be useless because your ads won't convert. And furthermore, let's be honest, you guys are business owners, not YouTubers. It's not your job to sit in front of the camera all day and film videos. So what we found is the best way to go around this is to use a platform called ArcAds.ai. So we started implementing this into our growth consulting firm late 2024, the first month that this platform actually launched, and we have been using it ever since, and it's only gotten better since then. So essentially what it is it's this AI-powered platform where it has a library of different AI actors. This is just a small selection of them, a little screenshot I took, but every type of demographic. Young, old, male, female. You can even do stuff where it's like people in doctor coats. They have everything. You could have Santa make ads for you. The thing about this is, unlike other AI ad platforms and AI generation platforms, you quite literally cannot tell that these ads are actually made by AI. In fact, we did a survey and very few, only about 9 out of 10 people could actually tell that it was an AI on the back end. And even for the 1 out of 10 that could tell that it was AI, they weren't like turned off by it. They didn't view it as like a bad thing. It was actually kind of interesting to them. So they kind of liked it to a degree. But these are so much better because even if you pay this girl $250, she's going to take 7 days, a whole week to get back to you. With ArcAds.ai, you pick the actor, you put your script in, press start, wait 10 to 30 minutes, and it generates the ad for you. Just like that. This is super important on the advertising side because it's very important that we do split tests and we have a bunch of stuff to test. And if we gotta wait for a girl to not only take all of our money, but also take all of our time, 7 days to get a 60-second video back to us, we're not gonna be able to have the split test at the same rate. Now, ArcAds.ai is very powerful when it's coupled with a platform called Claude. So this is Claude AI. Basically, the best way I like to explain Claude is it's just ChatGPT, but for writing things. It's particularly good at writing copy and writing text for sales interactions. So I just have it write the text for me. I put the text into ArcAds.ai, pick the actor I want, just like that. We got ads ready to go. We do this with some of the top practices that work for us. Some of them are big names. You guys have definitely seen them before, and it just absolutely crushes. So if you guys see any user-generated content, keep in mind 50-50 chance they work with us and it's actually AI. Now, other than that, we do a lot of appointment setting. So appointment setting is crucial because let's say you generate leads. You could be the best lead generation stem cell clinic in America, but if you can't convert these leads, those leads are useless. So the way that we actually convert these leads into sales appointments is very simple. Traditionally, a lot of stem cell clinics will use human appointment setters where they will call on the phones and they'll try to get these people interested. What we found is they're usually super lazy. They also quit really fast. Like they'll join the job and quit 2 weeks later. So you're constantly hiring, constantly training, and also constantly firing because for the few that don't quit on their own, you're going to end up having to fire them, like I said, because they're lazy. They make sales mistakes. And not to say that's a bad thing. Like everyone is allowed to make mistakes. I make mistakes all the time. But at the end of the day, truthfully, they do make mistakes. They'll tell a patient or a potential patient something that is completely wrong and incorrect, and then you have to go in and kind of retrace their steps there, and that's always annoying. And then the final thing is they truthfully, once again, just can't work 24/7. They got to sleep. Like there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just being honest. They got to sleep. They got to have dinner. They got to have lunch. Do their little morning routine. What we found is there's kind of like a customer journey. And if you spend a bunch of ad money and you attempt to get paying customers, but you have a bad appointment setter, no matter how much ad money you spend, there's going to be a blockade. Like the ad money is not going to be able to get you to the paying clients. But as soon as you replace this issue, you get rid of that bad appointment setter, then now you have this predictable stream of your ads returning, meaning you put $1 in, you get 5 back. Put $1 in a box, 5 comes out of that box. And the way that we overcome this and the way that we've been able to build this predictable journey for people is by using AI calling appointment setters. These are appointment setters that do real phone calls, sound like a real human. Once again, only 9 out of 10 people can actually tell that this is an AI caller when they do a phone call. It's actually the exact same statistic as the ArcAds example that I gave you, if you know the AI actors. Only 9 out of 10 people can tell it's AI. Of the 1 out of 10 that can tell it's AI, they're actually not repelled by it. They actually think it's pretty cool. For most people, it's their first time ever talking to AI. And it works very, very simple. They can work 24/7, 365 days a year. They don't need lunch breaks. They don't need to sleep, etc. If somebody wants to call in at 2 a.m. in the morning, they're going to answer. And not only are they going to answer, they are going to convert them. And the reason they're going to convert them is they perform better than humans. The humans are good, don't get me wrong. A great sales rep is a great sales rep. But the thing about AI is it's going to have perfect recall. It's not going to have to think about things. It's not going to have to second guess itself. It quite literally has access to the entire internet at its disposal every second with almost near zero latency, meaning when the prospect asks a question, the AI is able to provide a good response without a long, like empty pause where you're like, it's kind of like dead silence and it's awkward. And then, like I said, only 92% of prospects cannot tell that it is AI. Now, the way this AI caller works is, let's say we get a new lead, you're running your user-generated content on ArcAds.ai. The AI is going to call that lead within 45 seconds of it opting in. So it's very, very fast. And people talk about this, but it's a huge thing. Speed to lead is everything. Once again, you could be having all the leads in the world, but if you can't set these people into appointments, all the leads are useless. And basic statistics show that if you wait beyond 5 minutes, the rate at which you're going to be able to set that appointment drops dramatically. So using an AI caller can obviously fix that. And if the person doesn't answer, the AI will follow up with them 3 times within the next week. So within the next 7 days, just 3 times at random times, just trying to catch them while they're free, because clearly whenever they called originally, it can tell that and it'll keep that in its database and be like, okay, this guy's clearly not available at 7 p.m. Let's try, 5 p.m., something like that. So this AI caller is going to be integrated directly with your appointment calendar, so you won't have to worry about any manually scheduling there as well. It's just like a human. It'll be able to book it directly into your calendar. And then beyond the AI caller, there's also two other things we do. And number one is going to be an AI SMS appointment setter. So what this is just text messages. So it's an AI appointment setter. It waits 6 minutes after a lead opts in. So we let it skip that 5-minute window in hopes that they talk to the AI calling appointment setter first. So it does that initial SMS. If it doesn't get a response, it'll follow up in an hour, follow up 24 hours, 48 hours, and then 48 hours again. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, we also do email. So a 14-day sequence is what we typically build. This is just one pre-written email that goes out every day for 14 days straight. So it's email, wait a day, email, wait a day, email, wait a day, over and over, just trying to actually convert them and obviously send them to that appointment calendar so they will book a call. So that's how we get these people booked into sales appointments. How are we actually going to close the sales appointments? Well, it's pretty simple as well. Typically, when we work with a brand new clinic, when we first bring them on as a client of ours, they're dealing with loads of in-person appointments, and maybe they'll have one treatment throughout their day, but their whole day is spent on in-person appointments, like manually taking these sales appointments. And half the time, the people don't even show up. So not only is your whole calendar blocked off, but sometimes it's blocked off for absolutely nothing. And your 10-hour workday basically goes to nothing. But after we work with a clinic for around 90 days, we're able to get them to a point where they are not taking any in-person appointments. And I'll explain exactly how, but they're just spending their whole day doing treatments. Nobody's walking into the clinic that isn't a paying client. And that's why we have made a huge transition for a lot of our top clinics. And we went from in-person appointments to doing Zoom call appointments. What we found is Zoom call appointments are a lot better for obvious reasons. You're not wasting time. It just removes so much off of your plate so you have more time to focus on high-level business acquisition. And what we do right here is not only do we take the Zoom call, but we'll also collect payment on that Zoom call as well. So, for us, when we work with a clinic, we'll just integrate with their processor. But if you guys obviously go out and hire a closer, you just give them access to your processor so they can take that payment on call. Once again, like I said, so everyone who walks into your clinic is an actual genuine paying client. You're not having any time wasters walking in. And the best places I've found to hire US-based salespeople, because you don't want to hire people out of the US if they have an accent. It's going to be an immediate turnoff for your potential customers. So you want to stay US-based when it comes to these people. Best place is Upwork. Upwork is a great platform. It's basically a freelancing platform. So you go in there, you can use their AI job builder to write a job post in about a minute. It's completely free. Wait about 2 hours and you'll have a bunch of people applying to work for you. Now, Indeed is paid. You're going to have to pay money for an Indeed ad to actually promote your job, but it's also a great place to find good prospects for this closing role. And then the final one is Facebook groups. This is kind of more unorthodox, but there's loads of Facebook groups like closer Facebook groups, door-to-door sales Facebook groups. Typically, if you can find a guy who's really good at door-to-door, Zoom calls are a lot easier than door-to-door. That's a guarantee. Instead of being in the blasting hot sun trying to sell, you get to sit in the comfort of your home and try to sell. So if you can find a guy who's really good at door-to-door sales and a door-to-door sales Facebook group and bring them into your practice, so probably in a lot of cases actually do better online than they did door-to-door. So assuming you can get a 25 to 30% close rate, you're going to be in a good position. That's typically what we found with our clients who are in the stem cell space. And the way that the sales call usually works is we just start off with a very simple discovery, asking them, what treatments are you looking into? Why are you looking into them? Really bringing out that emotion so then we can actually close these people when we pitch to them. Now, after we do the discovery, we transition into an education phase. So this is a little bit more of the sales guy talking now, just breaking down what it actually looks like to get treatments, answering the questions that the prospects have. And we kind of frame this as almost killing the zombies. Every time there's a question or an objection walking at you, it's like a zombie coming towards you. And if you let this horde of zombies surround you, it'll be too late and they'll be able to bite you and maybe take your brains. But if you're able to kill those zombies as they start coming, get all those questions and objections out of the way, then when you transition to this pitch, it's going to be very easy and you'll actually be able to close them. And usually the pitch, we break it down into 3 pillars for the client. Now, obviously the pitch is dependent on the treatment, from hair loss treatments to, knee stuff like that. So joints. So it all depends on obviously what exactly type of stem cells you want to sell. We even have some people doing like spine stem cells for upwards of $70,000. So the pitches are very different, but we usually break it down into 3 pillars and have almost like a visual representation that we'll show them on the Zoom call. So yeah, that was the entire system. If you can do lead gen all with AI, appointment setting all with AI, and then of course use a human US based sales rep to close your deals, that means all you got to worry about is fulfilling on patients. So I just gave you guys a full breakdown, but if you guys would like more one-on-one help to do this, or would like to explore the idea of actually working with us and joining our portfolio of clients, then it'll be the top link in the description of this video. Like I said, if that's even 1% interesting to you, you can book a no commitment discovery call. This isn't a sales call. We'll never ask for a payment on this call. This is just to see, where your stem cell clinic is at and if we would even be a good fit to work together. And assuming we are, we can talk about those next steps and book in another meeting. But if that's even 1% interesting, click that top link in the description, book that call, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.